What it is, man. Detroit versus everybody, man. Detroit, we rep the hardest, man. We gain the hardest. You know what it is, man. Detroit, CJ, holla at your boy when we get home.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you. Get 18% off. We out.
All right, man. We back. Goodfella Sports TV. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Share the video, and we're going to talk about Shakur Stevenson, what they plan to do for him in Top Rank in the future, and what Top Rank got planned for Edgar Berlanga. But first, let's talk about this. Rollie basically beefing with Devin Haney. They've been going at it for like the last couple weeks. You know, Haney putting up sparring film and all that crap. But hey, let's get into it. Check out the Boxing Rumor and the Boxing News playlist. Don't forget you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We also got a Facebook group. All those links in the description. If you got a video request, you want to advertise your business on the channel, whatever the situation may be, all my links there. But yeah, let's speak on it. But yeah, basically Rollie, you know, accused Devin Haney daddy of paying for judges. And we look at the screenshot coming up real soon. And, you know, Rollie shouldn't even be talking. He ain't even a good boxer. He ain't even a good fighter. Rollie is an entire garbage fighter, you know. But he says, how the F do you get hit in your own highlight film? Let's not talk about your daddy paying the judges for you to win after you got effed up in Mexico and they raised another man's hand. Man, you're the biggest B in the sport. You call out everyone but fight a bunch of nobodies and was giving a belt. Fight Rollie and stop being a straight B. Man, my whole thing is this dude shouldn't even be talking. Like, he can't even, like, he is garbage. You know, they robbed Jackson Marinez in one of the worst robberies that I've seen in a long time. That was a terrible fight. You know, you lost that fight. You lost every round of that fight. You garbage, you a bum. And you just criticizing people. And guys like this shouldn't even be able to talk. You feel me? And that's my problem. He just doing too much talking, and you just came off a fight which you lost. And then Jackson Marinez is actually fighting Richard Comey, which Richard Comey was actually supposed to fight Felix Verdejo, but I don't know how that fell out and why that didn't go down. But Verdejo ended up losing anyway, and I got some news on him, or some would have been news on him if you hang around towards the end of the video. But Rollie talk a lot of junk, but he trash. How can you represent Mayweather Promotions and come out of Mayweather Boxing Gym where you got Mike McCullum, Jeff Mayweather, you got all these dudes that's trained champions and been champions. You got Floyd Sr. hanging around. You got a lot of world title champions and a lot of guys that raised and bred and produced world champions. And how can you come out of there and just be so garbage? Like, I don't understand he didn't start picking up the sport till, but he garbage. But then again, why not make the fight? You know what I'm saying? It's an easy fight for Devin Haney. He said Devin Haney ain't got no chin and all this type of stuff, talking about sparring and highlight videos. He ain't good. Rollie, they should make him retire before he lose. I seen Jackson Marinez. He don't have a lot of power, but I seen him hitting with shots with Rollie, and Rollie head just popping back at ease. I mean, it's just in the era of boxing, I guess, the social media era. It just gives people the right to have an opinion and speak when you don't even deserve that fake belt that he got. And I ain't got no issue with him. He just ain't no good fighter. He shouldn't even be a professional. We just keeping it real. He shouldn't even be a professional fighter. His father should be real with him and tell him that, you need to retire and go get a degree, or go work at the Piggly Wiggly, or go work at the casino, or work on the strip, or go drive Uber or Lyft. He is trash. He is garbage. He ain't no great fighter at all. There's some civilians that can get in the ring and beat Rollie. Like, did you see his last fight? You would think he'd be hiding up under a rock. You would think he'd be hiding in a crack spot. But he out here talking, oh, Jackson Marinez ducked me. He ducked me for Richard Comey. Look, shit, I wouldn't want to fight you again either when I got robbed. I beat you every round. And why would I want to deal with you guys again? And then it was out there, he said he wanted to rematch, and then I heard rumors that he didn't want to rematch with Jackson Marinez. I don't blame Marinez. Mayweather Promotions sit there and rob fighters for Rollie, but then again, they won't push for Badu Jack to beat, James DeGale, which he won, or push for him to beat Adonis Stevenson. That just kind of just let you think, like, man, like, do Floyd even care about melanated fighters? Even if Badu Jack is a black Swedish fighter, it just make you think, why would you ride for Rollie? He don't have no future. And then all that power they talk about, I don't see it. You know, once you get him out the first quarter of the fight, he's just welling like a fish. No skill at all. You know, he can criticize and, you know, this fighter, you shouldn't even have an opinion. There's some dudes on YouTube who opinion more valid than yours. You was a trash can fighter. And I like Devin Haney and Bill. They cool, you know. But at the same time, Devin Haney need a real coach in his trainer, in his corner on fight night. You know, and you seen, like, I agree with what Gary Russell said. Like, you look like a professional amateur. He hasn't made the transition as a professional fighter yet. He still fought like a professional amateur. He's a professional amateur who can go 12 rounds. And that's the issue. And that means he got great stamina to be moving around in that ring for 12 rounds in 3 minutes. It's great stamina to be moving around that ring. You got to tip your hat off to him for doing that. Straight up and down. But also, when you look at him, you know what I'm saying? He just haven't really made that maturation process. You got Mike McCullum that's helping him out. You have Floyd Zero Point. He just, you know, and the daddy just in the way. You know, and then he do call out people, and then he ended up fighting nobody. He took that money with Eddie Hearn, and I heard that he passed up the Jorge Linares fight, and he didn't want to fight, what's Cuz's name? Luke Campbell. Not Luke Campbell, but Jorge Linares, and he didn't want to fight Javier Fortuna, excuse me. So he did duck those fights. So there is some validity to what Rollie is saying from what I heard. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, they gave Devin a belt. He wanted to fight, you know, Lomachenko. You know, they didn't allow him to fight Lomachenko. But you talk about the young guys, his stock dropping the fastest. To be honest, you know, Ryan Garcia can lose and drop even faster. But Devin Haney, you know, at the end of the day, I think his father in his corner trying to be the trainer just hurt him. You know, and if his daddy just step away, handle the money, you know, just build the Devin Haney brand and let McCullum or let Senior or let Floyd Jr. handle, you know, let him handle his boxing career, I think he'll be okay. I'm not afraid to speak my mind, but it's just my opinion. My opinion don't matter to them, and I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just talking about what's better for him. Look at Shakur Stevenson's grandfather. He got out the way, and he allowed Coach K to do his thing. You know, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, he ain't sitting on his punches. He trying to move and not get hit. And, you know, I'm going to do a video on that Hector Camacho documentary. I'm halfway through. I watched it last night. And, you know, you see how when he got hit by Edwin Rosario, how that changed his whole career, how he didn't want to get hit again, you know, and he fought a safety fight, first type of fight. You know, that's kind of what happened to fighters. That happened to Adrian Broner. You know, even though Broner might not have got knocked out, it's traumatic. It's very traumatic to not want to get hit again. And that's what people kind of got to understand about boxers. Some guys get hit and they turn them on. Hagler, Chavez, and those guys. Some guys don't want to get hit. You know, Floyd was a guy that got hit, but you know then when you hit Floyd, it woke him up and made him really go into another zone. But then him talking about his daddy paying off judges in Mexico when you know they raised the other man's hand, and you know at the end of the day, I can believe that. You know, boxing a dirty game. I'm not saying that's what Bill Haney about. But I've seen a lot of dirty things that happen on the lower level fights. But, I mean, that's a huge accusation to make about somebody's father. So we see if Devin and Bill will say that. But if he know that, that must be going around the Mayweather, you know, around the Mayweather camp. You know, but it's just a matter of time. If he don't get a real coach, he's going to lose versus somebody. You know, but then again, I mean, that's Rollie opinion. And, that, you know, if he heard that, then they saying that around that gym or around Vegas. But let's move on, in my opinion. Let's move on, though. But, yeah, let's talk about Edwin Berlanga. I heard that he had a plan to fight 4 times next year. You had him fighting against the Angulo Ramirez cat that lost against David Benavidez and Gilberto Ramirez, and then him fighting, I think it was Gabriel Rosado. And, you know, those are some good fights. You know, Gabriel Rosado keep getting a check. You know, he came to the boxing gym a little bit late in his career for people who didn't know that. So I don't really think it's a bad, you know, plan. You got March, him taking on Alexis Romero and Angulo, if that can happen. Then coming back, I think in June, taking on Gabriel Rosado. You know, that can happen. That'll be a good fight. And then coming back in September and taking on Jose Uzatagi, former world champion, beat by Caleb Plant. And then in December, he'll fight B&B Bud Boxing Bomac fighter Steven Nelson. You know, like Berlanga, we're going to learn a lot about him next year if they can follow that plan, especially if he can knock out all those guys in the first round. That'd be tough, and him and Nelson would be a title eliminator, so one of them would be the mandatory for a fighter. But with Berlanga, you know, really, it's really going to that kid, you know, seeing if he can punch off the back foot, you know, going to his body, you know, making a move off platform, you know, using angles, bringing pressure. But, you know, we'll see. Gabriel Rosado is a good fighter. Romero Alexis Ongelo, solid. But we're going to learn a lot about him next year. And then, obviously, cuts and injuries can, you know, stop that. But, you know, somebody fighting 4 times a year, that's gangster, because that's something that normally doesn't happen in this climate in boxing. So, I mean, I like all those fights for him. You know, I think Steven Nelson is a good fighter. He a guy that's coming up there with an irky-jerky style, but Berlanga bringing punching power. You know, but then again, I seen some flaws in him the other night. So, we'll see if somebody can step to him, see if he got inside game, take him some rounds. But I've seen this story over and over again. You know, show me where he knocking out guys on Terry Norris level like Julian Jackson, you know, or he knocking out Lamont Peterson's like, Lucas Matisse. If he knocking out, you know, real world champions, he carrying that at super middleweight, he gonna be a problem. But his power ain't the freakishest power that I see. And like I said before, I've seen a lot of great punchers. I've been watching boxing for a long time. Norton, Shavers, Tua, Mike Tyson. You know, you had some unbelievable punchers, but let's see if he got a little bit more outside his punch, outside of being a puncher. You know, I noticed that he don't like his core ripped up, so maybe going to the body, that could be the key. But he young, 23 years old, and then guys like that usually don't have the chin, or you can go to their body, you close the distance off. But we'll see what he bringing to the table, you know, against those fighters, if all those fights can happen for him. And if they do happen for him, man, you're just happy for him. You know, New York having another great fighter. They produce a lot of great fighters over the course of the boxing, You know, you talk about Mike Tyson, you talk about, you know, just all the great New York fighters. Just currently right now, you got some solid ones, Danny Jacobs, but, you know, we'll see what happens. But Berlanga, you know, he in the division with Benavidez, he in the division with Caleb Plant, Canelo Alvarez. Definitely money to be made as a Puerto Rican. But let's move on. Yeah, Shakur Stevenson, they got a plan for him as well. He posed if he fighting the winner of the Herring and Carl Frampton fight, and then, you know, he'll fight the winner of Valdez and Miguel Burchett. So that's pretty much, they got the plan for him. And that'd be funny, you know, if Frampton win and he do retire, you know, shit, Jamil Herring can win, he can retire as well too. You know, obviously, I think Carl Frampton might beat Jamil Herring. You know, then again, Carl Frampton been on that canvas quite a few times in his career. So shit, who the hell knows? I think Herring need to walk to him and take away his, and just fight a fight that I don't know if he can fight. I'll walk him down and just beat his ass. But, you know, when Shakur Stevenson, I think the ultimate fight for him at this division is Miguel Burchett. You know, he tried to fight Oscar Valdez, you know, December 12th. And I think it was Oscar Valdez said, no, no, no. You know, he wanted to fight Miguel Burchett. But my whole thing is this. You know, you expect Oscar Valdez to turn down a title fight to fight Shakur Stevenson? Absolutely not. He didn't want to fight Shakur Stevenson to defend his title. He dropped his title not to fight Shakur Stevenson, and that's an actual fact. He didn't want to fight Shakur Stevenson to defend his title, so why would he want to fight Shakur Stevenson for a non-title fight? You know, so then again, we knew that wasn't going to pop off, and Mexicans don't want to fight black fighters, you know. Chavez really didn't have no problem fighting the Roger Mayweathers and, you know, the Pernell Whitakers, and that's hats off to him. He believed in his talent, even though the first man to beat him was Frankie Randall, a black man. But, you know, that's just the way it is. You know, these Mexicans don't have, you know, the heart that the old Mexicans had, like Chavez and Salvador Sanchez, even Marcos Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, you know, Juan Marquez was the name I'm looking for. But, you know, even those guys had more heart, you know. And then again, boxing fans have flipped all over the country, you know, not just in America, not just in the UK. They're no longer pushing the pressure. These new social media fans no longer putting the pressure on these fighters to fight the best, in my opinion. And that's just the way it is right now. Unfortunately, you know, and then it's real Mexican fans left, the older generation, but they don't really be on social media like that. But yeah, man, hopefully Shakur can go through that gauntlet. But I told you I was gonna say some Teofimo Lopez for Verdejo news. They supposed to fight on Puerto Rican Day parade weekend, and Verdejo lost, so they no longer fighting on that weekend. So I guess, you know, Tio gonna just continue to fight George Camboso. So if you hung around, you got that little, you know, piece of news that really didn't matter at this point, but that's what they was lining up, and Tio probably would beat Verdejo in a few rounds. especially probably after the 4th. He a professional amateur too, but hey, without the stamina, unlike, you know, Devin Haney got the stamina. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, card response, your video request. All my social media links in the description. Want to make a donation? Cash App CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link in the description. Best way to donate is share the videos. Let me know what you think about the video. Appreciate the love and support. One time for the one time. You know we gone.